If you follow those conspiracy theory channels on YouTube, or maybe follow any conspiracy blogs, or just into that sort of thing, I'm sure that you've heard a bunch of these types of stories before. Stories of people time traveling and warning us about the future, be it a utopian or dystopian future. Most, if not all, of these stories are bullshit. People trying to get attention or profit by using naive and gullible people. What makes this story different, though, is the fact that I have a credible source. And you can say that it is cliché or whatever. I'm here to share a story which left me disturbed, to say the least. The person in question, that I shall not name for their own safety, is a government employee. A friend of mine, if you will. He gave me this audio tape, then promptly disappeared. His phone number no longer exists, and I can't find any recording of him ever existing. But I digress. I've never been fond of conspiracy theories. Some of them made sense, and I have to admit, but I've never went full-on tinfoil hat bonkers because of them. This tape, however, changed my perspective. I'll stop rambling, and let the tape speak for itself. Good evening. My name is Sergeant. I'll be the one conducting today's questioning. Today's date is March 27, 2017. The subject in question is a white male, slightly tan complexion. According to him, he is 32 years old, 5'9" in height, 175 centimeters. Dark hair, dark green eyes. Why don't you introduce yourself? Go on, the recorder isn't going to hurt you. Come on now, let's get this started. Yes, alright. My name is Christian Patrikios. I was born on the 5th of March, 2208. That's it? Can you elaborate? As I said, I was born in 2208. The year from when I came was 2240. I'm a time traveler, as you say. But the way I came here wasn't voluntary. It was an accident. For the 1000th time. You said previously that you had an experiment which brought you here. You mentioned that your people developed a time machine, which twisted. It twisted the space-time continuum. We attempted to create an artificial wormhole, but failed. I was caught in the disaster when it happened. I told you already, I'm not the one who designed it, nor am I an expert on how it works. I'm a theoretical physicist and not an engineer. My colleague was the one who came up with the idea, and he isn't born yet. Okay, I understand. Let's change the topic, shall we? Where we found you, in California, does it correlate with the location where you were originally? Yes, though it's not known as California in my time. It is a territory of the Hisparian Republic. The town where you found me is now just a wasteland where we do our testing. Can you tell me more about your country? We have a democratic system. Presidents change office every 10 years. Our population is about 25 million, which doesn't sound like a lot considering we own the entire west coast of North America, including the entirety of what is now, or what was, Mexico. The official language is Hisparian. It's a mix of Russian and Greek. How come? What is the world population? Around 1.7 billion, and growing rapidly. We barely recovered from the war. Tell me about the war. Well, I should start from the beginning where it all started. Around 200 years ago from my time. So now? I believe the start was in 2019. The war? No, it's catalyst. In 2019, there was an outbreak of a disease, highly infectious and lethal. It started in Asia and quickly spread around the globe, and it killed a few million people in the course of a few years. Though a vaccine was developed and measures were taken to stop it, something happened just when the world thought it would finally end. In 2023, if my memory serves me well, a mutation happened. Maybe it was artificially tinkered with, we don't know. The same virus became 100 times more infectious. Its mortality rate was around 60 to 70%. Within a year, the global population dropped by over a half. Governments collapsed. Nations were wiped from the map. During the chaos, some terrorist organizations, religious radicals mostly, got their hands on some nuclear weapons. They set off multiple bombs in some major cities, killing even more and rendering some places completely uninhabitable. Some, to this day, to my day. A vaccine was developed somewhere around 2040. By then, there was barely 100 million people left. Many nations and cultures were just completely wiped out, turned to dust. My country, Hisparian, was founded on the backs of mostly Russian and Greek survivors and refugees who managed to get to Siberia, one of the last safe havens in the world, since the virus couldn't survive in the cold. Later, they moved to North America. There were other ethnic groups such as Poles, Germans, Ukrainians, Hungarians, many others, but their numbers were small. About 100,000 people settled in Alaska, later moving down south and establishing the Hisparian state. When we came here, there was no one left. It was just nothing but empty streets and vast deserts. Even before the collapse of the major powers, they fought against each other. When they did collapse, the successor states fought for land and resources. Many new nations were founded, many new rivalries forged, and the mistakes of our past repeated. So, in 2019, a virus will emerge from Asia, which will bring mankind to the verge of extinction? You can say that, yes. How did the Greeks survive? I am curious. The island of Crete was quarantined completely until most of the population was killed. Then some survivors managed to make their way to Eastern Europe. Interesting. Makes you think. How can we believe you are telling the truth? I guess you can't. Even if you put me on a lie detector, you can't know for sure. True. Well, since you are here telling this to us, we have a chance of stopping this unfortunate string of events. Don't you agree? I'm not so sure. Listen, all you have to do is provide us with as much information as you can, and you'll be golden. We might even pour some money in that theory you have and bring you back home. I would rather stay here. Understandable. There is one more thing. I'm listening. There have been theories that stated that it was all set up. I didn't really believe in those theories, but now they seem credible. A cult of sorts. I can't remember the name. They had an eye as a symbol, I think. They worshipped some god from old legends and myths. They prophesized the apocalypse, and they said they are the ones who made the disease in the first place. So it had to be man-made? Maybe. I can't be so sure, but they said they are the ones responsible. They have active members even my day. And I, you say? Illuminati? No. Can you wait here? We'll be back in a few minutes. Here it is. This symbol. Is it familiar? Yes, that's it. You serious? Yeah, that's the symbol. Some gibberish here underneath Doomsday bullcrap. Here, take a look. Anything interesting? This is Hisparian. What is? The gibberish? That's impossible. Yes, it shouldn't be possible, but what? What's written? It mentions me. No. That's impossible. We just found these Doomsday Nuts a few weeks ago when they opened up the site. What does it even say? For the Hespan, the sinful thinker of lies, we know of your place, and you shall be cleansed from God's earth. Are you sure? You get the man some water and get him out of here. Sounds crazy, yeah? You might even say it sounds fake. But since I've received the tape in 2018, before the shitstorm that is 2019 and 2020, there seems to be some credibility where it comes from. As for the cult that is mentioned, I couldn't really find much information on it. There's a lot of cults that have eyes as symbols and have gibberish written on their sites, but since the guy Christian said his language is a mix of Greek and Russian, how would that look like? I can't really say. I'm not a linguist, nor do I speak Russian or Greek. I'll continue my search, and I'll hope that whatever organization or cult is behind all of this fails. The cycle must be broken. The only question is how. And I can't even be sure if any of this is 100% legitimate. My friend was the type of guy who was down to earth and never made stuff up. Especially something like this. Giving me this tape and then disappearing without a trace. And then making a prediction. No. It's all too well put together to be fake. If I find anything, I'll update you. Stay safe out there.